pretty nice setup.
It's a really professional operation.
Hey, huge things have started in small spaces.
That's well said.
It has. I mean, Microsoft, Apple, all started in garages.
It's one of the 1,000 reasons why I wanted to podcast you today, Orossica. It's
Thank
insight
you.
like that.
Hey, thanks.
Last time we were in a small space together, it was in the back of a 747,
Yep.
returning from the Holy Land,
Israel.
and it started great things.
Yeah.
How are you, Orossica?
I'm doing well.
One of the magnificent 7, which is only 6, and we call ourselves the Simple 6 now.
Yep.
And teaching Dust Patrol is but one of your legacies. Leading a Timothy group, engaged,
Yeah.
immigrated from not Jamaica. Jamaica, man.
You got to throw a little accent on there.
Uh-huh.
A
And
little
just,
jerk seasoning.
an executive,
Yeah.
right, at Gallo.
At Gallo.
And so pushing and distributing alcoholism at a high rate. Glad to have you part of the show.
We got to indulge people in their vices, right?
Orossica, I so love being with you and love the
Thank you.
man
Same.
that you're becoming. I remember meeting you. Was it at a 613 or I met you, a Soma, and you said, I really want to plug into men's ministry, which I hear a lot and see rarely, only because you got to get up early and it's not, every day, everywhere. There's only a few avenues. And you stepped in a huge and influential way.
Yeah, the reason why I came after that is because I had recently just moved from Arkansas at the time, and I had a discipler there that I still keep in contact with. His name's Kay Osborne, and through our relationship, I recognized the value that having a discipleship experience has on your life, on your walk, especially if you're trying to do this Christian walk. And he's an amazing guy. He's legacy, family, grandmother, grandfather, father, mother, all Christians. So it's like their legacy, as we talk about legacy. He lived that legacy in the Navy. Captain, had his own battleship and all this stuff. So
Battleship.
Yeah. And we connected really well because he went through a lot of the same stuff that I was going through at the time. How do I serve the Lord? He thought it was through missions at the time. Then God led him back to the Navy and said, no, it's to lead the ship and pour into the lives of these men. And I was going through the same thing at that time. Should I leave my job? I had actually applied to seminary and was about to just quit and go to seminary. But then through various conversations with him and God speaking to me, it's like, no, this isn't the only way to serve me. You can minister in anything that you do. And just led me back into the business world.
Good for you. And you're an influencer in the business world.
I try.
You do.
I try.
You do. Amazing. Can you imagine what it must feel like to wake up and know that this is my battleship? I mean, I remember when I got my first Daisy Red Ryder BB gun, I thought, man, I'm king of the street.
Little bit of a difference.
What'd you drive up in today? Battleship.
Yeah.
And don't battleships come with like 7 other support? I think, no, that's an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, I think he did have an aircraft carrier now that I think about it, because he at one point was a pilot himself in the Navy, and he did tell me a few stories about them landing on the ship, so it might have been an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, we talk about everything here. Your spirituality, your walk, what you heard this morning, including tidbits like Kay Osborne. And Kyle, you know the rules, you two people at home, and maybe Orossica, you haven't listened to many podcasts, but this is not a place for you to give little infomercials for people or favorite gyms.
No.
So we're mailing
yeah.
Kay Osborne a bill for $100. Because
I'll let him know
you
it's
just got
on
a
the
little
way.
free infomercial from the Captain
Yeah.
Osborne.
Yeah.
Admiral or whatever he would be.
Yeah.
Hey, so Dawn Patrol, you've been a big part of it. You lead Dust Patrol. You teach, not co-lead, and you teach Dust Patrol. You're going to teach a Dawn Patrol coming up in here. How you feeling about it?
I really just focus on asking God, Lord, please, you say something through me, because when I started to try to get too clever, whatever it is. I can get myself lost and I can lose the audience. I'm just like, Lord, if you have something to say, you say it through me.
Healthy way to go. Healthy way to go.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited. I can't wait for you to do Dawn Patrol. I've seen you do Dust Patrol many times. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
You're a great man, great leader, great influencer. You got a long way to go.
Long way to go.
Yeah. You get married June what?
June 21st, the first day of summer.
Woo!
Summer solstice.
First day of summer and the last day of the rest of your life.
Yeah.
In San Diego.
In San Diego.
So fun.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Married.
Yeah.
Are you nervous about it?
Yeah.
Why?
To be quite honest, talking to everybody else that already is married, and one of my favorite quotes that I remember very clearly was from somebody at this church, and they were like, you know what? I don't know how non-believers do marriage because it's so hard. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that we were relying on God, I don't know how we would make it.
Right.
And not to say that, like, marriage is this dreadful thing. It's just sacrifice, and I think naturally we as people are pretty selfish beings. It's part of survival and self-preservation. You think about my needs, and you can't do that in marriage.
Right.
And I'm already learning that, just through being engaged. Like,
and just as a friend of yours, I've known you 5 years?
4.
4?
Yeah.
I've observed a higher than average level of what would you call it with you? You're just concerned about Orossica. You are one of the most self-centered individuals I've ever met in my life.
Ouch.
So you,
Dagger,
my friend,
I need to work on that.
No, I'm kidding.
I need
You're
to work
gonna do
on
great.
that.
Sacrifice, good word.
Yeah.
And if you're worried about you as a couple more than you're worried about Orossica, you're gonna do great.
Yeah.
And she's a great lady.
Yeah, she is.
She's a
pretty
great
amazing.
woman. Hey, Jamaica.
Yeah.
You just went back, first time in 20 years?
27 years.
Woo! How
Yeah.
was that to go back to your roots?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Just being on the land as soon as I landed and I put my foot on the ground, something felt different. It's like, man, this actually, even though I haven't been here for 27 years, this feels like home.
Really?
And then I met cousins that I'd spoken to but had never met like in real life.
Oh, they must have been flipped.
Yeah, it was awesome. So like everybody from the States and from Canada, that's where most of my family lives now. They all went back down, so I got to see
Everybody.
people that I hadn't seen in just a really long time.
So set the stage. You've dropped into Kingston or Montego Bay?
Kingston.
Okay, and then boom. I've never been to Kingston. Only the rest of the whole island.
Okay.
Got a honeymoon there.
Yeah.
31
you told me
years
that.
ago.
Yeah.
And spent 2 weeks. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Fell in love with the people and the land. And so I'll never forget the smell of Jamaica.
Okay.
I mean, no, just the humidity, the tropic, there's a smell. Caribbean, probably. Maybe it's all Caribbean. I've never been to any other Caribbean island.
Yeah. I guess when I was there, it was raining because I forget what hurricane it was, but it was passing through, and maybe it passed on the other side of Florida, so it sent some storm fronts our way. But I mean, it wasn't super hot. The temperature was perfect. There was jerk chicken in the air.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of marijuana that we're
just a little bit.
Famous for, but it was awesome.
I might go back there for my 35th. Little Ocho Rios.
You should. I have to show you some pictures, man.
I'd love to see some.
When I was there, me and some of my family, we spent 2 days on my aunt's friend's land. She owns like 50 acres up in Portland, Jamaica, right on the ocean, like prime land. And we lived off of her land for 2 days. Picked every fruit that you can imagine. We have this thing called aki. It's technically a fruit, but it's a delicacy in Jamaica. It's our national dish. We there was a lot of that. Plantains, June plums, which I think they're called mamanchinos out here. But anyway, anything that you can think of.
Chickens?
We lived. She had chickens.
Eggs? Did you slaughter any chickens?
We didn't slaughter any, but she had some meat that she had already gathered or whatever.
And
so
fish, because you're on the sea.
We didn't fish. We
But you
didn't fish,
could.
but we could have if we wanted to. It was like right there.
Wow.
And she's selling the land, so I'm like, man, maybe I should figure out a way to get back home, you know.
Wow.
So, but anyway, it was perfect. Living off the land.
Living
there's
off the
nothing
land.
like
Nothing
it.
like
There's
it.
nothing like it.
And it's romantic until the snow comes, but there's no snow in Jamaica.
There's no snow.
Or until the hurricane or typhoon comes.
That's
the thing.
And earthquakes.
And earthquakes, really, Jamaica?
And earthquakes, yeah. She
Really?
was telling us that she had went through a couple of earthquakes
wow.
already.
Hey,
yeah.
Dawn Patrol, Legacy, Tombstone, Finding Dad, Know
Yeah.
Your Why. What'd you hear?
So it's actually something that I've been thinking about for probably the last like 10 years. Like, where am I going and what am I going to leave behind? So the consistent theme, it sounds simple, but the consistent theme is, you know, walk with the Lord, follow his commandments, and you'll be all right.
It'll
you
go
know?
well with you,
Yeah,
says King David.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so it through all the complications of life, you know, all the ins and outs, the details and all that stuff that we go through, at the end of the day, it's simple. Just trust God, you know.
It's not, but that's not that simple.
It's not that simple because
It's
we're
that
doubtful,
simple.
yeah.
It's that simple, but
it's
it's
hard.
not that simple.
Yeah, it's hard
like
to put into
buying
practice.
your aunt's land.
Yeah,
You know, now if you're going to trust God in that deal, it's an equation changer.
yeah, for sure.
If you just muscle up, man up, put a conglomerate together, do what you do, how do you do it in today's economy? Whoa. You know, so
Yeah.
to trust God in every step in marriage, trust God. It's
Yeah.
a big,
Yeah, because you always have a picture of what you think should happen, and then when that doesn't happen, it's like, well, God, what are you doing? I had my plan.
what you think should happen. There's a picture. We're picture people.
Yeah,
We see it,
yeah,
right? There's images.
yeah.
There's a narrative. There's a movie we've seen. There's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the beavers, whatever your, thing is.
Yeah.
On what a good marriage looks like, there's a picture.
Right.
Right? And then there's what everybody else tells you. So it's what you think, and then it's the narrative of culture.
Yep. Like this morning, you mentioned goals.
Yeah.
You know, like you set your goals up, and then sometimes the goals don't
go.
work the way
Right.
that you.
Right.
But is that a failure?
No.
You know, if you're led to do something else, and you know the Lord makes you successful in that, do you still look back
Yeah.
on? Well, I thought I was supposed to be doing this. You know,
But
so
but maybe you were but you consult the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
But most things don't work out,
Yeah.
right? I love Churchill. He said, "Success is moving from failure to failure to failure with great enthusiasm."
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
you learn.
Yeah.
If you hopefully a wise man
Yeah.
learns.
Yeah. You're 100% right.
And you never wake up. Like nothing comes easy. Nobody
Yeah.
wakes up and
Yeah.
you've arrived.
Yeah.
It's usually a long, faithful, consistent, straight road.
And that's something that I've actually learned over the last maybe like 3 or 4 years is this culture of accepting or not being afraid of failure.
Yeah.
Earlier in my career, everybody's like, no, you don't ever. I literally had one of my managers say, don't ever say you're sorry for anything.
Yep.
Don't admit you're wrong, et cetera, et cetera,
Oh,
et
wow.
cetera. And now it's this culture of no, failure is okay
Yeah.
as long as you learn. Fail big,
Yep.
learn,
Yep.
and then proceed. And
Yep,
I
yep,
think that's
Yep. Jim Beelig,
knowledge.
when my wife first opened the door, but it was about 2-3 days before we opened, he pulled her aside and said, "Don't forget now, you're going to make some mistakes. And that's okay."
Yeah.
Well, who can't work in that operation?
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Good. Listen, big moment today, Harry O.
Yeah.
You're engaged, going to be getting married, and he just laid his wife, Juliana, to rest.
Yep.
She's with the Lord.
Yep.
And so all these things are happening at Dawn Patrol. Some fun, some laughter, some really profound moments, a little bit of scripture, some prayer. Wrap up Dawn Patrol, like just the experience. You're telling, what's his name that just got a bill? Osborne?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's describe it?
Man, it's so dynamic. It's hard to put into words, but it's just a gathering of men that love the Lord and each other. You know, I think it's that simple, you know.
That's that.
But one of the things I do really like about Dawn Patrol that's a little bit different is that, and I go back to a conversation that I had, maybe I've been having for like 5 years, is there's been this in the past, this feminization of the church that happened, I think, during World War II, when all the men went off to war and all the pastors had left were women. So they changed the way that they did things to satisfy the parishioners, and that continued on. But now, being able to see a pastor like you, which is, more like a man's man, like it's okay to, burp and, not be perfect, and speak Christianese all the time, but still follow the Lord wholesomely. That's also really encouraging. So,
not that I burp. I'm not a burper.
Fart then?
No.
Just kidding.
But I'll say
Just
those
kidding.
words. I'll say those words. Typically, people don't know this when I move from, I like to pace. I talk on the phone. I walk. I'm a walker. I think it comes from my contractor years. I mean, I like walking around on the phone. I move. But typically, when I'll make a movement from like this morning, I went really deep over into your table, way over to off the thing. That's because I lit up the left side of the room, and I don't want to be over there when it hits.
So they blame you?
No, they're not blaming me because I'm on the other side of the room.
Right,
See,
I know, exactly.
I'm
so
like
they look
5
around
tables
like...
over. They go, whoa, Steve Cole. I usually try to throw Steve Cole under the bus on them. No, I'm totally teasing. But stuff like that, it's like, you know what? I think that comes from I just wanted people to relate to me. Nobody could relate to me in my early, and I suffered. I couldn't find relatable people.
Yeah. And I have a similar experience, so I totally know what you mean by that.
I love that. I love that. Loving the Lord and loving each other. It's as simple as that. Straight out of Orossica's mouth. I'm telling you, I love this kid. Closing thoughts. Closing thoughts.
Enjoy the journey.
That sounds like you read that out of a journal, a calendar.
No,
thing.
That's actually from Kay Osborne. So when we were $200. When we were meeting, one of the things that he said to me is like, Orossica, man, you're doing what I did to myself, and you're worrying about what the next step is, what you're gonna do, trying to figure it all out. And you know what? I did a lot of disservice to myself by not enjoying the journey. So
that's good advice.
You need to enjoy the journey.
I'm teasing. I'm teasing Kay Osborne.
Yeah.
Trace
$300.
No, it's good. Why wouldn't you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Because tomorrow, who knows what it brings? And God or Jesus, when He spoke, often just said, "I'll always be with you. Stay in the moment. What are you worried about? The food you're gonna eat or the clothes you're gonna wear? Look around at the flowers." When anxiety and drive and all these things that we pride ourselves on, not anxiety, but the drive and the goal achieving and rob us from the moment and rob us from enjoying the journey.
Yeah.
Is this not the greatest day that we've ever lived? This day. I think every day, with whatever we're dealing with, has the opportunity to be one of the greatest days of your life.
Yes.
I really believe that. I don't know where that comes from.
Optimism.
It was the last day the earth was going to end. The moon is going to hit the earth every day of my childhood.
Yeah.
The truck's going to fall off the freeway and crush you between a guardrail. I mean, so I think that I went the other way. Yeah. And maybe ignorantly, but it's working for me.
Yeah, no, it's a good way to live.
Orossica, I love you. You bless me. It's rare that you got a young, accomplished executive following the Lord at the level that you do. And you're leading our Timothy group. They are blessed to have you and know you. You will be a Ken Osborne someday in your life where guys will be calling you 6 years from now. You'll be getting bills in the mail because they did some podcast. I'm serious. You are a great man and a great inspiration.
Thank you.
I love you very much.
Thank you. Kyle,
any closing thoughts? Nobody even knew Kyle was in the room. I did, though.
Yeah,
I did. He's a lovely human being.
Orossica,
have a great week.
Thank you, sir.
I love you.
You too. Love
I can't wait to see your wedding.
Yes. It's going to be epic.
I can't wait to pray with you a year after your wedding.
Yeah.
As you lose yourself to find her.
Yeah.
That's a good line too. Lose yourself to find her. Lose yourself. I might steal that and use that
You should.
in your wedding. Lose yourself to
You
find
should.
her. I'm writing it down.
Yeah, remember that.
And I'm going to bill Belig because I'm a pastor here. So I can't bill myself. I'm going to bill the church for that deal. God bless you, Orossica. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too, sir.
Love you.
Love you too.
And ain't all. Never will.
Oh.